Hello and welcome to Name Still Pending podcast. I am one of the hosts of this Weeb filled episode. My name's Gary. Online, you can call me Greedy Jr. And for this pending name, still pending name podcast today, we got a cool subject to talk about, and that subject is anime. That's right, everyone, anime. Because no one else has a podcast to talk about anime like we do. We are your premium anime podcast. That's right. No one else comes close to us. Today, we're podcasting and anime together. I swear, the market is not saturated, but yeah, you won't hear anything else like this today. No one's ever done the stuff we're going to do. No, I'm just kidding, but honestly, it is like a very interesting subject, and I really wanted to get into it because, again, I feel like me personally, it's a big thing in my life, and, you know, the guest I have today can't have a premium podcast, anime podcast, without someone else who has the knowledge of anime, and that is my good friend, Masaya. Yo, what's up, Masaya?
How's it going, Greedy? My name is Masaya, as you just mentioned, and my actual name is Marcus. That's what I go by. But Messiah online for everybody. And yeah, I mean, like Greedy mentioned, this is an episode about anime. And whether you've thought about getting into anime or whether you thought about, I've always heard about it, but I've never really watched anything. Where do I start? Where do I look? What should I get into? How long? Am I going to be watching for weeks or am I going to be watching for a few days? Like some of these topics and some of these questions is just a little something that we want to touch on, especially in this episode. So Hopefully we can get into that. But, you know, we got a lot of cool things to talk about, and just a little bit about myself. Gamer, anime watcher, Marvel, Star Wars, like anything that is pop culture as far as Disney goes, because I guess Disney owns everything now, right? I'm into that. So I'm watching all the newest series, the newest movies, the newest shows. Greedy knows I watch them on day one. I'm like, yep, it premieres on Thursday night. I'm watching it Thursday because I don't want to get spoiled.
Yeah, we live in
spoilers. So I'm excited to do this episode as we like focus on anime, and it should be a good one. So I'm hoping that's what we get right now.
Yes, indeed. And it's kind of the same. Like, to me, I feel like, I don't know if it's a generational thing, but we're really, pop culture for us is like, it's really important, and it's really like embedded into who we are, I feel like. So like, kind of growing up, we just get into it a little bit, like, growing up on like reading Marvel comics, or like just going to see, like the original Spider-Man movie, like the Sam Raimi Spider-Man, and really getting into that kind of stuff really stuck with me the same way. When I first saw, I think the first anime I really watched was Dragon Ball. I believe it was on VHS tape.
Oh my goodness!
At my friend's house. That's right, a VHS.
Because y'all were recording them, or what?
We were recording it because we had to go. We had to go to practice or leave or go somewhere. So we'd put the VHS in there. But like, this episode starts at 7:30. We recorded it at like 5 because we'd be gone all day.
Gone all day. Yeah, so record it to the VHS, put in the VHS when you get home, and just have a good time.
Exactly, and like
for sure.
That's like, I don't know. I feel like, I don't know if it's a generation thing, but that's our stuff. I feel like the we're millennials. Our thing is like, we really connect to, I guess, I don't know, content, but just like that kind of stuff. So anime, I guess we could kind of get into like the origins of how we started liking anime. And I'll start with you. You go for it. Let me know what like kind of like drove you to like becoming, very interested in anime, and it stuck with you today still, because we're older. We did, I think, start enjoying anime when we were younger, but yeah, you let me know.
So much like how you mentioned, right? I was watching anime when I was younger, right?
Yeah.
And it may have been Dragon Ball, it may have been Naruto, it may have been something, but I thought they were just cartoons, right? I didn't really have cable, so when I started getting it, I was all like, "Yo, I don't know what this show is called, but they show it at
Yes.
night, 11 p.m., close to midnight, on some channels, and it's amazing. And it could have been Dragon Ball, it could have been Naruto, and I was hooked, but I wasn't watching it every night. I wasn't tuning in every single night to continue the following, the following episode and continue with the story. So maybe I would miss out. Maybe I would just, tune back in, a couple nights later and be like, well, what did I miss? Like, okay, I remember. And there was no continuity with the story.
Yeah.
So that was me growing up, right? So fast
Yes.
forward now to my college years. And this is when I really took on anime, right? This is when I like dipped my toe in the water and then I noticed I was drowning, right? So I'm going to skip the boring details, but I had friends and friends were talking about anime. They were a little bit older than me. I was probably like 19, 20. We were playing pickup basketball in a gym. And I remember both of these friends, one of his name was Jonathan. The other one, oddly enough, his name was Marcus, which is my name. They come together and like, hey man, did you see the newest blah, blah, blah. They're talking about episodes. They're talking about anime. And I'm just like, I'm interested because they're my friends, but I have no idea what they're talking about, right?
Yeah.
So I go over, right? And I'm like, what are you guys talking about? And they're like, oh, it's this anime. And I'm like, I'm sorry, what? Like, what's an anime? And they're like, yo, it's from Japan. It's super cool. Have you heard of things like Dragon Ball and Naruto? And they're throwing me all the cool stuff that's airing at the time. And I'm just like, I mean, maybe, but you don't want to sound like you don't know anything about what they're talking about, right? Maybe, but I don't
100%.
know, right?
Yeah.
So he's like, look, I'm going to give you an anime. He's like, you watch it. You let me know how it is. He's like, it's one that I just watched recently. He's like, do you like romance stuff? And of course, I was younger. I was just like, yeah, sure. Yeah, send me the romance. That's fine, man. He's like, okay, I'm going to give you one. And he's like, its name is Clanid, and when I saw Clanid, oh man, Greedy, I would go to bed because I would go to school, come back home. I would go to bed and watch anime lying down on my side, right? And I had a box of tissues right next to me. So it was the laptop and then a box of tissues just right there next to it.
Yep.
Every morning I woke up was a small little mound of used tissues that I had used as I was watching the anime, and tears are falling down my eyes down. I'm just like patting my face, throwing it down, cleaning my boogers, throwing another one, getting another one, rinsing and repeating for like a whole week. And I had no idea what this was. My first actual series that I was watching, and I was bawling my eyes out. It was tugging on me. So Clanid, just to give super brief, it's romance. It's a romance anime.
Yes.
And if you go to my anime list, which I don't know if we'll get into that now or a little bit later, but Clanid is an 8.00 on my anime list, which is what a site, what most people who enjoy anime maybe want to track it and see like reviews or recommendations. That's what they use. And I think even season 2, right? So that's Clanid. I know it looks weird. I know. You're gonna see the art style and you're gonna be like, what is this guy watching? It's crazy, right?
At the time, the art style was probably popping, but it definitely had like people are like the big bug eye anime.
Big bug eyes. Yeah. That was the thing. You look at a bunch of those animes and then bam, it's big old bug-eyed women, right? And so that's season 1. Season 2 goes into what happens after they graduate high school. And I don't want to spoil it, but season 2 almost had a 9. So for newcomers to anime or people that just don't know anything about my anime list, a 9 is what is that? I think it's like very good or something like that, or great.
I think let's see, a 9 is great.
It's great, right? With 10 being a masterpiece, right? So if you go to my anime list, you don't have to do this one, but I got the stats. There's only 13 animes ever in the history of all animes. 13 have a score over 9.
Over
right?
9. Okay.
Over 9. Only 13. You think of the thousands. You think of the Attack on Titans. Maybe some people have heard of Demon Slayer. Maybe some people have heard of One Punch Man and all this other stuff. only 13 have over a 9.
That's
And
crazy.
and Clannad season 2, which is called Clannad After Story, had an 8.94. So I went into that thing and the tears just kept flowing, man. I was enjoying it. I was eating it up. I was sad. I was happy. I was, feeling good and then feeling destroyed. And once I finished Clannad and Clannad After Story, which is just the follow up to it, I was like so in love with anime at that point. I was like, where can I get more? And it wasn't just the romance, right? I mean, we'll get into it a little bit later, but guys, we like watching romance stuff too. All right. It's a secret. Don't tell anybody, but we love a good romance as well, right? It may not be The Notebook, but we'll watch romance stuff, right? So my love for anime just kind of kept going and snowballing to where I'm watching action, slice of life, mystery, thrillers, even sports anime, right?
Yes.
And you think to yourself, wow, like I really want to get into anime and this guy seems very passionate. I guarantee you, if you give it a shot on something and just truly follow up with the story, much like I did watching a romance, you're going to find yourself hooked. And, even if you don't find yourself completely hooked, you'll find yourself in a situation where you're like, I actually enjoyed that. Just like I enjoy a Marvel movie, just like I enjoy a series on Disney Plus, just like I enjoy Wednesday on Netflix. Exactly. Why don't I just keep watching more and more that this industry, this untapped gold mine has for me? So that's just very briefly on my history of anime. And I mean, it's a done deal. Now I've seen so much, but I'll toss it back to you and see what you have to say about that.
Honestly, relatable. And you said something. I feel like personally, you said something. I think like because the world we live in is like a world where it's hard for dudes to just really have that like open emotional like level. We're not supposed to, guys aren't supposed to have that. So like I feel like in a way, and romance anime is a way for us to express the things inside that we can't show the real world sometimes because the world's like, oh, this guy's, he has emotions, ew, like,
ew, like, must be soft. Yeah.
I do. The story of Clannad really got to me. I watch it every time I want to feel. I go back to episode 18 of After Story. I know exactly what it is.
I know exactly the scene. It's gonna make me bawl every single time.
Exactly. Yeah, but no, like,
oh my god,
honestly, kind of the same. Like, I feel like anime to me, I guess I had kind of like a very open mind when I was a kid because I was very down to explore different like just having fun with my friends. Like, oh, my friends are watching this thing. I guess, I should try it, see what it is. So I remember watching that Dragon Ball on VHS. It was Dragon Ball as well. So it was like the original Dragon Ball, which is, if everyone knows, Dragon Ball Z is the popular show, shonen anime with Goku and everyone. And there was a prequel story before that called Dragon Ball when he was younger, and the animation and the story was like, I was like, dang, this is pretty interesting. So I started, talking to my parents. I want to watch Dragon Ball. Can we find Dragon Ball stuff? I like Dragon Ball. I want to watch more, learn the story and all that. So I remember getting also a Shonen Jump book. I think they shipped them here, and I got like a Shonen Jump with like the first issue of every, like I think it was One Piece, Dragon Ball Z,
Naruto, probably some Bleach or something.
Yeah, it had like parts where you could like color in and like draw and stuff too. So I remember like getting that and I was reading it and I was like, wait, spoiler alert for like the first season of Dragon Ball Z. But I was like, wait, you mean this green dude died? Why did he die? I don't understand. I don't. And then I was like, wait a minute, flip it to the right and start reading backwards because it is backwards. That's when I found out too. The Jump magazine, the Jump, like the mangas and stuff, you read from right to left and not left
Japanese
to right. Like
read from right to left, everybody. Right. There you go.
So I remember doing that and I spoiled that for myself. But then I still read it and I ate it up. It was great. And my friends really liked Dragon Ball as well. I feel like, what was it? Like the cartoon, the Saturday morning cartoons, like Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon. Like I didn't even know Pokemon was an anime, but everyone
are all animes, right?
Yeah, they're all animes if you think about it. But they're like the things that really stuck in the West, like over here in like because we're in the U.S. So
yeah, everybody loved Pokemon. Yeah,
everyone loved Pokemon. Everyone bought the cards. Everyone bought the toys, the games. It was really accessible. But that's like the surface stuff. That's not even gateway. Like I feel like that stuff's not really like the gateway anime. I feel like the gateway
Right.
stuff is like Dragon Ball or Naruto.
Hmm.
Yeah, and I just remember always going to my friend's house like on the weekends. We'd watch Bleach as well on the weekends
Oh
on
man.
Toonami on Cartoon Network, and then
Yep.
like really getting into that stuff, and then really wanting to like find like I know there's more of this stuff. I don't know how to access it. And I remember my friend at school, middle school, was like, "Hey, bro, I got this DVD here. It has some stuff. You're gonna want to take this home. You're gonna want to watch this." And I took it home. And he
The
had
rest
all
is
this stuff.
history.
Yeah, he had episodes of like Inuyasha on there, which that really hooked me too. Inuyasha
Mm.
was a show that was a balance of like romance, will they, won't they, action, and comedy. And
Yeah.
seeing that in the form of like an animated show I was like, I didn't know you could do this. Like, I didn't know I could
like
feel happy, sad, laugh,
right.
and all this stuff at the same time,
Mhm.
and then just really, having it stick with me and like kind of became like a small little like addiction. Like I feel like anime started like creeping into my heart, and it really became part like a main thing that I really wanted to look for when I would like absorb content from like shows and stuff. Like growing up, just kind of like, oh, like go to the movies, see this and that, but anime. Like I'm watching 3 different seasons of anime, like as I'm growing up, because that's just what it was. I don't know. You could do so much with animation. It's so different from like Americanized or like Western cartoons.
Right.
It is a cartoon, but it's just a different style. And I don't know, something about like even like in the freaking, you won't never see bug-eyed people in like Western,
Yeah, no,
cartoons.
you
Like
ain't gonna see that. Yeah, no, definitely not.
They just
But
found a
it's
way.
it's
Yeah.
yeah, but it just to touch back on it, right? Like it just goes to show you're willing to watch, people who may not even know what anime is and are finding out for the first time right now.
Mm-hmm.
If you're willing to watch any type of series, any type of movie,
Yeah.
any type of, YouTube video series and all this stuff, like it doesn't matter. Netflix, Disney, Hulu, Amazon, you name it, right? There's so many streaming services. And in my opinion, right, just forget the animation, oh, well, I like seeing live action stuff and this is animated. If you can get rid of that lens that you use to view like entertainment,
Yes.
you're going to find that a lot of these stories are just as good, if not better, and come out even like maybe like 5 times as more frequent than any of these Amazon, Netflix stuff. And when you understand that, and when you start giving that some of your attention, you're going to find yourself saying like, oh my goodness, like it really was a gold mine. Like there's a lot of good content here. There's a lot of good genres, a lot of good series that have multiple seasons. Like you're going to find yourself hooked, just like me and Greedy were, at that age where it's like, what is this? I don't know what it is, but I'm going to eat it up.
Exactly.
And it's like I said, the rest is history, man.
And that's why I feel like too, the bigger ones, they're able to not just have good shows to watch, but they also had other sources. Like again, the Pokemon show, it was cool, but they had the games, and then they had the card games, so you were able to like immerse yourself in this whole world of Pokemon. Same thing with Yu-Gi-Oh, even freaking Beyblade, man. Like I don't even like Beyblade's an anime, and they like I remember all my friends and I, we had
and you're buying Beyblades and you're letting it rip.
Exactly. And it's just crazy to look back on. Like it's so. I think about it. I was talking to someone the other day. I was like, it's crazy to look back on the times. I feel like I grew up in a time where people were still like, oh, you watch cartoons? Oh, you're a nerd. Or like, you do that? Like, you're a little loser. But like, kind of coming out of it. We're at the cusp of it, almost done, but like still having that. And it's crazy to see now. I know some people who were the people who would make fun of other people for that. And now they're like, bro, like, I just watched like the first whole season of Naruto, dude. This show is amazing. And it's like, damn, remember that guy you made fun of for wearing the headband back in the day?
Yeah.
Never. Don't knock it, man. Don't knock it because you don't understand this.
He's one of us.
You one of us now. Welcome. We welcome you with open arms.
Welcome you. Yeah, come into the fold. Come into the fold.
Exactly. And yeah, so honestly, I would say anime is so like, it's literally ingrained in my life. I'm actively looking, like I look every day. I'm trying to get a Dragon Ball Z tattoo on my body. I'm trying to get
Ooh,
Shenron. Like I'm trying to get a sleeve of like the Dragon Shenron from Dragon Ball Z. Let's see if I can pull it up.
pull that up. Yeah.
So like this is a dragon from it's like the staple of Dragon Ball Z. Besides
Yeah,
Goku.
there it is.
So this dragon right here, I love Dragon Ball Z so much. It's been a part of my life for so long. I played like all the games. Budokai Tenkaichi 4 coming out. We getting another one.
There you go. See, look at that.
I'm trying to get this tattoo on my body because Dragon Ball has meant a lot to me. And, we could, us guys, we can invest in care about things that aren't just, whatever, big blockbuster, crazy stuff. We can like our things. So, yeah. But it's just, anime is great, man.
Anime is great, man.
That's why we want to talk about it. And
absolutely,
we will have some stuff to talk about for anime. We might have some topics to talk about, but before then, I want to try out this segment I want to do every episode called the entertainment arc, because I feel like in animes always have arcs. Like I feel like it started with Naruto for me, but like the training arc or the Chunin exams, so that's also why I would like to do this thing called the entertainment arc, and just kind of ask you, Masaya, like, what do you, anime, we're going to talk about it. We're going to get into it, but like, what are you doing for your free time? Like, what's your like hobby? Like, what are you into right now? What's your thing pulling you in? Doesn't have to be anime. It could be anything. So.
Well, I know we said we don't want it to be anime, but it's so ingrained into me. It's like breathing at this point. Every now and then I'm watching episodes of stuff that's airing, stuff that I had started and maybe dropped because I started watching something else. Watching Ozarks on Netflix, and that is interesting for me. Yeah, because I had only seen season 1, and I probably waited like another year. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to watch the rest of Ozarks. So I've been watching that on Netflix. It's been cool. It's been interesting. The drama, it's crazy. Other than that, video games. Been playing Valorant with friends, and it's gamers. Yeah, we've been gaming. Valorant is the tactical shooter of choice right now for me, and Riot Games owns me with League of Legends. You may have heard of that one. But Riot Games owns me, and you can see that link how it was slightly discolored compared to all the other links. That means Greedy has clicked it before. So you can tell that he's also been interested in Valorant. Yes. And we actually play together and a bunch of other friends, and it's been a good time. And just playing the game and having a good time with friends. That's what I've been doing.
Yeah, I gotta say, I think I watched the first season of Ozark when it first came out, and that also got like Netflix. Early Netflix,
they got some stuff.
They got some bangers on there. Like that, Netflix is one of the few streaming services that pulls me out of my anime coma. Like, it like pull. I'm like, oh, they got. Oh, I want to watch that. Like, Ozark is great. It's I gotta say,
Squid Games that came out, like about a year ago or two.
Definitely, yeah. So and then same here. I'd be gaming. We'd be playing Valorant together, getting bodied or bodying people because
one or the other.
It's like a 5v5 first person shooter. Shooter. And it's very competitive. And I feel like I like playing competitive games because I feel like I am competitive. But when you have a team of people 5v5, right? So this is the thing with video games, guys. So when you play competitive, you rank up to prove that you're really good at the game. You go along with friends. So you have to work together. So it's like a 5v5 attackers and defenders. Some people, the attackers have to plant a bomb or kill everyone. The defenders have to defuse the bomb or kill everyone. And then you win that round. And there's a bunch of rounds. But the thing is, if 2 of you are doing pretty good, but 3 of you are trash, you're gonna lose because you cannot carry your team. I mean, you can if you're like goated, but you cannot carry your team. It has to work together. And there are some people when they play this game, you choose your character, and then they start losing a little bit, like, oh, I'm bad at this game, I shouldn't play anymore. It's like, okay, buddy, I get you, but we are playing right now, so like, let's
So let's worry about the now, and then you can uninstall and quit the game after we win.
Exactly. Let's win, and then maybe you go through the pros and cons of if you want to continue. But for right now, 100% leave
play
it
some
all on the court.
Minesweeper, play some Tetris, whatever you want to play,
Read
but just
touch some grass.
Read a book, touch some grass. Make little paintings like Bob Ross, whatever you want to do. Just let's win this game right now.
But yeah, that's the experience when you have a 5v5 game and you don't have 5 people that and you have to rely on random people to play. That's what it is. So that's also my entertainment, and then I guess also just doing like I'd be working on music. Like I'm trying to do some music stuff right now.
Yes, sir. Tell them.
Yeah, I just be you guys might hear some stuff later on some episodes. We might get into some music. But yeah, I've just been working on some music producing, doing vocals and stuff, trying to see where that goes. But I think other than that, gaming, music, anime, honestly, that's pretty much it. And I'm okay with that. I am satisfied with that.
That's good enough. That keeps me entertained.
I will say a little, like, still connected to anime. I did see John Wick the other day. No spoilers, but I was telling them John Wick 4 is the second most non-anime movie I've seen this year. It is so, like, it's better than all the other ones. Like, they just keep getting better and better. This fourth one, it topped it, and I was like, I left the movies like, oh my god, this movie was amazing, and they did it. Like, they did it.
I need to watch it.
There's something in there again, kind of like with Creed, which was the first movie I saw this year, which was the most non-anime movie, because that one actually has like anime references and stuff in it.
Yeah, if you watch Michael B. Jordan interviews, he is telling you, yo, I watch Dragon Ball, and some of these scenes, and he's like, and I watch anime in general. He's like, some of these scenes that I'm filming with Jonathan Majors, which is the other actor, I guess you could call him the antagonist at that point.
The antagonist.
He's all like, we literally derived it from anime style fights. And to me, when I saw that interviews where he's talking about that, even before the movie was released, I was like, ooh, I'm not,
exactly.
Whether if you're a boxing fan or not, if you come from anime, and yeah, definitely worth the watch.
I know I saw something. I was like, dude, he's a real one, because, there's some people out there, and I'm not trying to make fun of, celebrities, but, some people were like, oh, you're in this game movie. Do you like games? Like, yeah, I play, I played the arcade game. Yeah, I love Mario. The Goombas, that's neither here nor there.
Goombas, yeah.
Yeah, but like Michael B. Jordan, I remember there's an interview where he was like, oh yeah, dude, I've been watching this new anime. It's called Blue Lock. It's dope as shit. And I was like, this man, he's a real one. He literally said, I've been watching Blue Lock and it's dope as shit. And I love it. I was like, he's a real one.
Which literally, just to put it in context, that anime just finished yesterday.
Yes.
All 24 episodes. So, this is not Michael B. Jordan saying that he watched something like a few years ago. Like, no, he was currently watching that anime.
Yeah, this was a current season anime.
3 to 4 months. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's right. That's dope. But yeah, so Creed, John Wick, if you like anime and also live action stuff, go see those 2 movies, because there is a reference in John Wick that I can't say, because if I do, it'll spoil for a lot of stuff. But there is a reference to an anime in there that I believe I recognized. And if you see it, maybe let us know if you saw it, and we'll go from there.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But yeah, that's for me, that's all the entertainment I got. The entertainment arc. Yeah. So this is an anime podcast. This is a premium anime podcast. This is your premium anime podcast.
There you go.
And we wouldn't have an anime podcast without lists. We have to do.
People love lists, man.
Exactly. And we've been kind of going over it for a few weeks now, and we decided I wanted to do something called, like, we wanted to put together our own individual list of animes to get people who haven't watched anime into anime. So like you just teleport
Right.
into someone's life and you have like 30 seconds to like throw them like 3 or 4 animes that will, you know, decide their life, you know, how their life outcome is. Like that's pretty much what I'm going for. Like, oh, you don't know what anime is? Here, you have these. You have to watch these.
Quick, take this. Take this.
This. It's dangerous out there. Watch this. You know. Like,
Yeah.
So I kind of wanted to go over that just so you guys see like what our taste is, and like, you know, you can kind of get a detailed look into, maybe not super detailed, but detailed look into the animes that, you know, we feel like would fit these types of situations.
Right.
So yeah, I guess if you want to start, we're gonna do maybe 3 or 4 animes to introduce to people like you guys watching or listening to get into anime, because I feel like I've had a few opportunities to do this for people, and I never, it's crazy to think that I'd actually got to see the fruits of my labor. Because I remember 2 years ago, I went to my friend's Halloween party. This is kind of what inspired me, and I met my friend's her boyfriend there, and we were talking. He's like, "Oh, who are you dressed up as?" Because I was dressed up as Zenitsu from Demon Slayer, and it's like, "Oh, it's from Demon Slayer. It's an anime." He's like, "Oh, you're into anime? Oh, that's cool. Like, do you have any recommendations? I kind of want to get into it." And I was like,
I got you.
And then later, like literally a year later, I saw that same guy at another Halloween party, and he was like, the first thing he said, he came up to me, he's like, "Bro, I watched this anime. I don't want to say it because it might be on the list, but I watched this anime, and you were right. I've been hooked. I've been watching like these other shows since then. I've been getting into it. Do you have any more recommendations?" So I was like, "Yes, my child.
Come, yes.
Join us."
Yes, I'll put some water on the stove.
Yes,
I'll put the pot on the stove. Come in, cook fresh cookies.
Fresh cookies. Yeah. So that's pretty much what I want to do. You know, kind of. That's what inspired this. Like, let's make a list and see what we got on there to show people. Hey, you should check these out if you really want to get into anime. You know, we'll see.
Right.
So yeah.
Let me go ahead and get into it then, because like Greedy mentioned, this is not something that we want to go over extensively. Like you said, it's just something quick where we want to say, based off of new people and anime lovers, if you consider yourself an anime lover and you haven't seen any of this that we're about to mention, because maybe it's not your preferred genre or preferred, or maybe you just never heard of it. A lot of these can sometimes fly under the radar. Maybe you should give them a listen or a watch. Sorry. And for people who haven't, that's what this list is tailored for.
Yep.
You come in to you listening to this episode, and we're going to give you just a quick list, right? So I tackled it, and Greedy as well. We tackled it in the form of genres, right? When you think of like movies that get released, it's like, well, I'm not going to go to the theater to watch that because I don't really do romance, or I don't really do comedy. Exactly. You know, is that where people are shooting guns all the time and killing each other and blood and everything? Yeah, that's not my style of movie. And you have genres that are going to help you kind of set your sights on what you want to watch and what you want to avoid, right? Or maybe what you're not so interested in. So without further ado, mine, as far as action, as far as action, mine is Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. A lot of people reduce it to an acronym, and that's FMAB. If you look that up on Google, if you look that up on my anime list, FMAB, you get bam, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Not to be confused with regular Full Metal Alchemist. And the reason why the two are different, right, is Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood is, I don't know, I don't want to say it's 100% accurate to the manga, but it is very, very closely accurate to the manga. And what is manga? Manga is the original author, right? So think of an author who would write a book, and that book goes crazy and people start reading it and they're like, man, this is amazing, blah, 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 blah. They're loving it. They're eating it up. They're buying it everywhere. And then somebody takes that and makes a movie. Disney makes a movie. It gets a series on Netflix. It gets a series here and there. And that's how we can correlate the two between manga and anime. So the manga, the original story, and the anime are very identical, and that's what you get when you watch Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Um, there's a reason why it's on both of our lists because it's number two of all time on my anime list. Greedy, if you go there to where it says anime right under my anime list and just hover over it and go to top anime, number two.
Literally,
There's only one anime that is considered better by scores and reviews and all that stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and that's Attack on Titan. And maybe that has been something that, is table talk as you've been growing up. Oh, somebody mentioned Attack on Titan. Somebody mentioned this. Somebody.
Yes.
I was in Houston 2 weeks ago, and somebody had a jacket that had the Attack on Titan Survey Corps emblem on it,
cool.
And it's crazy, right? Dude. So, yeah, exactly. Everybody strikes that pose, right? Which, if you watch the anime, you're gonna love it. But again, this is number 2 on my anime list, so that speaks volumes alone. It's got great story, it's got great development, it's got good characters, good music. Again, I said I was in Houston. I went to an anime candlelight concert where there was 4 musicians, and one of their songs was the opening for Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. And when everybody heard it, everybody just started humming the tune, to the opening, and everybody was getting all hype, and I was getting chills listening to it. Like,
oh, that's amazing.
It's just one of those animes, and I think if you see it there, it's 64 episodes, right?
Yeah.
So just to set the table a little bit, most animes will either do what we consider half seasons, which might be anywhere between 12 and 13 episodes. And then there's full seasons, which would be a 24 to 25-ish range of episodes. And then normally, if they're going to keep expounding and making season 2s and 3s, they're going to just make, more and more and more. Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood is 64. And you might think that's a lot, but when you're hooked, and if you can watch Grey's Anatomy for who knows how long,
7 seasons, 12 episodes.
If you can watch The Walking Dead, if you can watch all this other stuff, seriously give Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood a try. It's got good story, great music, good characters, good drama, and overall, you're going to understand why this is rated number 2 on my anime list. You give it a chance and you're going to greatly enjoy it. I don't know if there's anything you want to say about it, Greedy.
I agree. It was going to be on mine, but we talked about it before because and I decided to go a different route, but because I agree, it's one of the greatest anime of all time. I feel like this time period of like the early 2000s when it came out, there's like bangers and bangers of anime just coming out, like really great. But this one stood the test of time. It still holds up. The animation still
holds up.
The story
absolutely
still will blow your mind even if you watch it again. It has enough in there for you to like rewatch. It could be like an annual rewatch.
Absolutely.
You go back. It's so good. The story's great. The characters are great. There's something that is it's not like, I don't want to, we're talking about anime, so we got to talk about the good and bad. But there's something. Same things with TV shows and movies. I feel like sometimes anime struggles from sometimes is character development. Characters will be like in like non-development stasis. Like they will never, like sometimes there'll be stories where a character will never grow, never change. And you watch 24 episodes of a show and they're exactly the same throughout. Maybe a little annoying, maybe, too childish, or they won't commit to anything. This show has it has it all. Character development, great story.
Yes.
It hooks you in with the music. Very detailed. Actually, like you could probably, if you watch every episode, you're not gonna be like, wait, so why was that? No, you understand. They lay it all out for you. Yes. And I don't want to get too deep into it, but there's like some great stuff happens in here. Some emotional stuff. You might grow as a person watching this show. That's how I feel.
Definitely.
You might actually grow as a person watching this show. So that's why we both had it on our list, and I agree. Like honestly, I agree. It's just it deserves to be up there. I'm not gonna argue. This show made the path for Attack on Titan to be number 1. This show is the pioneer to what Attack on Titan kind of went for. So, you got to give it up to this show. And then, of course, the writers of the show, you know, the actual manga and everything first, because that's where it came from.
Yeah.
But yeah, this one specifically, Brotherhood is great. I know the other one is good too, but Brotherhood, I think, had a full story and finished. I'm not entirely sure about the other one. The other one, I think, kind of only went...
Had some fillers.
Yeah, it had some fillers. I think there's a movie too, but you know, that's the thing. Sometimes I feel like early anime movies aren't really canon. They're just like there for like...
They're
cool
off little story. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the bad guy beats him up, and then they beat up the bad guy with a punch, and then the movie's over. So
right.
Yeah, but can't argue with this. Agree. This is a great choice for action, right? You said action adventure, or
for me, an action good adventure anime would definitely be this one. And
yeah,
obviously the popularity speaks for itself, but you'll understand why once you watch it.
Exactly.
You will understand.
I would say definitely say. So let's see. I wish I could add it. Could I just like, dang, if I could create, is there a way to create
like a new list?
A whole, yeah, just a whole list by itself.
I may not know.
Let's see. Dang. Because that's what I was trying to do. We're going to have it on here and put it in a list, but
maybe you could just leave the tab open if you're able to.
I'll do that. So I'll leave the tab open. All right. So anything else on that one?
No, I mean, I don't want to get too much into it as far as the story goes, but
yeah.
If everybody around you is saying a series is really, really good, maybe if you want to compare that to something like now, everybody is telling you, watch The Last of Us, watch The Last of Us. Have you seen The Last of Us? Everybody is willing to put their 2 cents in on The Last of Us. If you confront an anime watcher, and if you just go to this website alone, you're going to understand why this is number 2. Exactly. And you're going to understand why, much like me and Greedy, who didn't discuss prior to recording this show what our animes were, had this on our list. You're going to understand why. So I would definitely give it a watch.
Also, if you like to play like old school games, there were some good Fullmetal Alchemist games on PlayStation that I played. There's like 3 or 4 of them. They were really fun. Yeah. So that's
one of mine.
Okay. You want to go through, or should we just go back and forth in like this?
We can go back and forth.
Okay.
We can go back and forth if that works.
I was gonna choose that one. I was, but then I went with something a little different, but still I think would be really high up on like the action and great story list, and I chose Samurai Champloo.
Ah, a classic.
So
very classic.
This one's also pretty, highly rated. The score is pretty good at 8.51. So this anime also stuck with me so much that I used to watch it when it came out on like Saturdays on Toonami when they did the anime stuff, Adult Swim. This anime did something that I feel like not a lot of anime do, which is mix music with the actual animation and do like this whole crazy story like based off of the music intertwining with the actual characters. So if you don't know, Samurai Champloo is a anime about the samurai period, I think the Edo period of Japan, and then these people are just trying to get their own selfish goals done but have to work together, and they kind of just are like, oh, we're stuck together to get to what we want. And it's just a journey about 3 people growing together, doing what they need to do to survive. But there was something that came out of anime was a group called the Nujabes, which they did the music for the actual show. And if you don't know, the Nujabes were the people who actually pioneered lo-fi music. This show has influences from lo-fi that people didn't know about until after they started creating this whole, and I don't want to get copyrighted or anything, if I can find something to play. But yeah, if you look up the Nujabes, I think that's their name. Nujabes.
Yeah, N-U-J.
Yeah, Nujabes. So, you know what? Let's see. Let's just take a little look here. Let's do this.
How ironic, the teaser for the Champloo on the new gen.
Let's see. Okay. See if I can find the intro. Is this the actual intro? So yeah, I'll I'll find it. I'll find it. We'll get there. But so this show, the animation quality was great. I think it's only like what? Let's see, 26 episodes,
Mhm.
and the story all the way through entertaining, funny. The animation's great. The characters are great. You know, like I said, they're all
Mhm.
kind of in their own way a little selfish, but like have to work together, and then they start to
Right.
like grow from that a little bit. Um, it was. Let's see. Have you watched this show?
So I've heard a lot of good things about this show, but I haven't actually had the chance. And I've seen a few episodes and a few clips from the actual anime itself,
Yes.
but I haven't seen it from beginning to end.
Okay.
I
So
just know that it is actually really good.
I'm gonna play the intro for it so people can get a feel of like what I'm why the show like because I music is a really big part of my life. So like this
Absolutely.
show doing like this like they had like hip hop like and then whatever the lo-fi influence is, it just really stuck with me so much of the music into it and like hip hop
Right.
beatboxing and everything. And like I haven't seen a show do something like that in a long time, and nothing as good as this show. So honestly, if you're like music, you like action, you know, just people going on an adventure, like you know, a friend's adventure just to try to get to their goal. This show right here, like I could watch the show over and over again. And
Absolutely.
this to me, like I
Yeah, I'm
feel like
gonna
if
I'm gonna have to watch it.
I would say definitely bump it up on your list of watch to watch. You
Yeah.
guys, everyone else out there, I would say watch the first 12 episodes and then go watch Full Metal Alchemist, because Full Metal Alchemist is a whole journey and it's going to be a big ride. 64, you can knock out like 12 episodes of the show and then, you know, go there. Definitely watch them though, both of those shows. This one,
Yeah.
I don't know what else to say besides the animation, story, music, and that's why it has it's almost a 9. So
Yeah.
it's
No,
just
yeah,
great.
absolutely. And like just do the if you could go back to my anime list right
Yeah.
there where you had that and hit the drop down for score where it says select right there.
Select. Oh,
To the
this one?
right a little bit right there.
Oh,
So
yeah.
yeah, just click that. Look at what 8 is. It's very good. So I know a
Very
lot of
good.
people see these scores and they're like, 8.5, or you might see something and it's like 7. Look what a 7 is. A 7 is actually like good. So like when you see something over a 7, it's not to say that this anime is like, It's like, no, like people are still saying that this is a good anime. And when you see
Mm-hmm.
something that is 8.5, almost 9, um, that's speaking volumes to the anime. And like Greedy said, it still holds water in today's animation, in today's, thousands and thousands and millions of dollars that people will use for
Exactly.
animation. They get together and they say, can we buy a small little island with all this money, or do we dump it into 12 episodes of anime? And they're like, let's dump it into 12
12
episodes of
episodes of
anime.
anime. I think we can
And
manage.
like I said, this holds water for sure.
Yep.
I'm definitely going to give it a watch
Dang.
because I've heard you talk about it and I've seen
Yes.
clips of it.
I've been trying to get my friends who are into music to watch it, because this, to me, in my head, the way I picture it is I have a lot of friends who are like, you know, very heavy into music, like music and stuff, like hip hop. And I'm like, yo, you like hip hop? You want to look at anime? Why not watch something that has both of them? And they do it
Oh,
extremely
yeah.
well. And it's so
Yeah.
good. Like you will, this is a great, that's why I'm like, this is a great introduction anime for people. Like if you're
Mhm.
like getting into it, you know, you're a little scary, you don't know, I don't know how to watch this. How do I watch this JoJo? Why do I have to watch 222 episodes of Naruto? Get that out of here. Enjoy some good animation, a crazy, just fun
True.
story, and music. Boom.
Yeah,
Great.
absolutely.
So, also, I need to do this real quick. I'm noticing, I think on the
Yeah.
stream, you can't actually, when I click on the list, the select, it doesn't pop up on the actual stream. It's like its
Oh,
own,
okay.
because it's like its own window, I think. So, what I'm going to do
I see.
is
Okay.
I'm going to click on each one so that you can see it. So, as you can see, the
Ah.
lowest number, 1 is appalling. 2 is horrible. 3 is very bad.
Mhm.
4 is bad. 5, average. 6, fine. 7, good. 8, very good.
Yeah, so now you have an
9,
8.5,
great.
right? So what is 9?
Yep.
9 is great.
Great, exactly.
Yeah. And
So
you ain't never gonna see
you'll
anything that is a perfect 10.
there's no
You know,
masterpiece.
yes,
No,
there is no
no
masterpiece. There's
such
some
thing.
people who like even the best of best, and so they'll drop the score down. But
Yes.
for an anime to be, what is that, released in 2004 to 2005, there
Yeah.
that information on the left,
Mm-hmm.
and to still be an 8.5, like it's there for a reason. It has that
Exactly.
score for a reason, guys. When we're showing you this these scores and these reviews and all that stuff from this website, it's probably one of the more popular, if not the most popular website used for anime
Yes. My
tracking. You
anime
know,
list.
it's how I use to know what I have already seen. You know, if you see that tab up there that says like recommendations, that's what I would click on when I was starting in my first year of anime.
Yes.
And I'd be like, you know what? I did like Samurai Champloo. Okay. So what do other people think they like? And you know, they'll put their comments, they say, hey, if you like the main character that is like this, or hey, if you like the music that is, you know,
Mm-hmm.
similar to this, then check out this anime. Check out
That's a
that.
good
And
choice.
that's
That's
also just, yeah, that's just a fantastic way to just keep going down the rabbit hole. So
so.
uh
Well, yeah. I think maybe I'll put some links to my anime list in whatever the description
yeah.
and stuff, because this is a great website. And if
Mhm.
you are a fan, you have to use other streaming services to watch it. My anime list doesn't have it, but I believe, if I'm not mistaken, you could connect your Crunchyroll, which is a streaming anime streaming service, to my anime list, and like I think it keeps up with the shows
Like
you've
it
been
updates
watching.
automatically or
Yeah, I think
something,
it.
like
I think
syncs
it
it in a
does.
way.
Yeah, I believe it
Huh.
does. I'll have to look into it
That's
later.
interesting.
Don't quote me on it,
Yeah, for sure.
but
Yeah.
I'll have to
But
look
yeah,
into it.
so we'll be using this website, especially when we talk about anime, just so you can see scores and you can
Yes.
see. I mean, look at members, right? Like a million members, and
Yes, exactly.
so many reviews and so many rated scores and all that stuff. Like it gives you all that great information. So, yeah, we'll be
Ex-
using that website as we continue to chug along.
and you brought up a good point. I used to use this site. I think it was called Anime Planet, because I didn't know what
Mm.
my anime list was for back in
You
the
had
day.
not seen the lights.
Yes. So I what I used to do, and because me, when I like something, I want more of that. So I would also go
Mhm.
to the recommendations and be like, what is like this? Okay, I opened like 50 tabs of these, the next 5 anime, watch them. Oh, that's one. It would have been good. Watch
Yeah.
them all, be like, these
Oh
are
yeah.
great, but they're nothing like the show, but I'll keep watching because they're great. But yeah, so this
Mhm.
tab is really great if you like to go down rabbit holes. So
Oh yeah,
recommendations.
absolutely. And you click on one of them and you're going to see a page just like this, and it's going to tell you the synopsis, it's going to tell you the score, it's going
Mm-hmm.
to tell you, you
Mm-hmm.
can even see reviews and all that stuff. So it's a great website.
Exactly.
Um, but yeah,
Wait.
so I think we'll move on to number 2 if that's okay
Yeah.
with you.
Yeah, let's do that. We've been on this one for a minute, so let's do that.
Yeah, we need to keep it chugging along, as
Yep.
now we're getting a little bit long on our recording, but
Yeah.
this is just a topic that we're so passionate about, so we can talk for hours about this. And we have, and
Mm-hmm.
don't test us on that, because we do.
Don't test
Um, so number 2 on my list, this one is a little bit of I never heard about that one, even though the score is really really high. This is my mystery meets action meets good thriller, and that is Psychopaths. Psycho, and you should see it there as
She.
pass. Yeah, so I think that's the first season there. So it's an 8.34. I love this anime because it has a very, very, very unique concept to it. It's obviously futuristic. It's set to follow detectives, and that's the people you see there. They're part of a detective team, and they're living in this future where society is governed by some sort of artificial intelligence. In other words, the AI of the city, let's just say Tokyo is governed by artificial intelligence that will determine if you're going to commit a crime. In other words, it's analyzing your mental state and your behavior. And if you start to get a little naughty and out of control, it will notify the police, who will then be able to show up to your house and in in hindsight keep crime from happening. And that's essentially what this whole anime is about. So they kind of pave the path and they say, yeah, that's the concept. And it's cool because when the police or detectives show up to your house and you're in a state where you're about to commit a crime, their gun, they can wave it over you or hold it at you, and it will let you know, hey, you're authorized to use tase on this person. In other words, somebody can't just grab a gun and start shooting somebody. It has to be authorized by the same AI that governs everybody's mental state there in the city, right? And then obviously, if somebody is going crazy and they need to be neutralized, that gun will then analyze them and set itself to lethal. And it will completely blow them up as a gun in our day would as well. But what if the system that you trusted so much in, there's a way for some people, if not maybe a few people, a handful of people, that can keep their mental state from shifting between innocent, loving, kind, and serial killer. So even as they murder somebody, they still have the mental state of non-murderous intent. Your gun doesn't activate. The system doesn't let you know that there's somebody who needs to be neutralized and taken care of. So then what do you do? How do you handle that? Is the system wrong? Can you still trust the system? And all of this stuff is explored in this anime, and it's fantastic. I love it. It's got some good mystery because they're detectives, and it's got a lot of good suspense and action. And it's got a couple of seasons, I believe like 2 or 3, and it's got a few movies here and there. Another benefit of my anime list, look at that sequel, and you can just click on that, and that'll take you to season 2, and then if you another sequel, season 3,
Spoilers,
and it'll tell you, oh, yeah, and it'll be like, oh, there's movies, and oh, there's this, and all that stuff. So, Psycho-Pass, great anime. Definitely, if you like that kind of concept, as far as like psychological and what is going on in people's minds, definitely take a look at this one because it's got what you want in action, it's got what you want in suspense and thriller. And yeah, hopefully you enjoy it. That's my number 2.
See, this anime also came out at a time when, like, you know, I've been watching anime, but I feel like this is when I was starting to get all the people around me really into it. And I was like, dude, there's this crazy mystery. Do you like Minority Report? Because this is Minority Report, the anime.
Minority Report, the anime. When I was watching this, and I think if you'll go to like the top review or something like that, that's like what it is. It's like Minority Report, the anime, and it's like, wow. Okay.
And they like, so again, anime, I feel like they're really good at taking ideas that we might have already seen. It's like, oh, this idea is crazy. Minority Report, like, you know, what if you know what the crime you're going to commit in the future, and they send people to the past to stop you because you're going to do this crime. And it's like, that's a crazy idea. And then they're like, that's only an 11. Let's take this to a 12.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
We're going to go further beyond.
Yes.
This show is exactly that. And I do like this show. I still haven't watched the movies, but I know this show really, it kind of got me into like this style of like dark detective mystery, you know, and the whole concept like a serial killer could on the gun, because like what if you live in a society where this rule goes no matter what, even if you know it is wrong and you see someone clearly doing something wrong. Like imagine like you see someone killing someone and you're a detective, but you can't, your gun is saying, oh no, their murder levels,
everything's good.
Everything's good. It doesn't matter. And you literally can't do anything. Otherwise, you'll be the one getting in trouble. It's like that kind of.
And I'm just going to interject super quick because what if you're witnessing it and the gun doesn't activate for him, but then it activates for you watching him?
Exactly.
Because you're starting to get these thoughts in your head as you're seeing somebody else die. So in other words, the police show up and they can't use their gun on the guy committing the crime, but they can use it on you. That's crazy. You know what I mean? Like, ugh.
Yeah, that's why this show definitely, if you like mystery, this is going to be a great one for you. It'll be really good. 22 episodes, you know, fairly easy to knock out. Does this show, maybe we'll do that another time, but I was going to see, does this show where it's like streaming on? Because that'd be interesting.
It does. So if you scroll down a little bit, I think it's going to be on the left-hand side.
Resources,
streaming platforms.
Oh, here we go. So boom, Netflix, or maybe not anymore. Crunchyroll, Funimation. So yeah, we could do. Let me real quick go back. So Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, Funimation, Crunchyroll, Samurai Champloo, Crunchyroll, Funimation. There you go. Those are
Crunchyroll is the new Netflix.
It is the new Netflix.
All these other small streaming anime platforms.
So this one right here, I think I watched before I watched the mystery one that I'm gonna say.
Mm.
So I have like a mystery kind of adventure with friends type show that's kind of like on the same lines as this a little bit. And mine is Steins Gate.
Oh my goodness.
So Steins Gate is a whole theme park of emotions and just mystery. Mystery everywhere. You could tell by his reaction that he's like, "Oh my god, I don't know if you forgot, but like it's like, yes, Steins Gate is, as you can see, another 9, right? So another 9, didn't even know that, but that's amazing. Um this show, it did some things to my mind.
Yes.
It is a mystery show. It's a show about friendship, time travel, and who done it. And it just
So,
does.
okay.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Before he starts, I wanted to put this anime on my list so bad, but I should have. And the only reason I didn't was like, okay, but it includes time travel. So it's like people cannot just be having it happen in the background while they're washing dishes or something like that. Like they actually
Yeah.
have to be paying attention because like there's a lot of good information. And next episode, due to some time traveling, stuff might
You will get lost.
make a difference. Yes, might get lost and whatnot. And the only reason I should have included it is because now time travel is such a thing that is in everybody's pop
Everything.
culture.
Yes.
Whether you're in Marvel, everything everywhere all at once. A whole bunch of different time traveling animes that are just making their way up onto like the main stage of a lot, or movies, sorry, that are making their way onto the main stage of like entertainment and media.
Yes.
And that's what this is. And I'm glad that he mentioned it. I kind of thought it's more like a okay, you're ready to put your big boy pants on and pay attention when you watch anime, but this is definitely a 9 and a 9 for a reason.
It's like, for me, I guess I was going like, if I'm giving this all to the same person and then like being pulled out, I'm like, here's some fun, here's some mystery, here's something that's gonna make you think, here's some, like that. Like, so this one, it's gonna make you think, and you're gonna like your attention, if you're cooking, whatever you're making is gonna get burned because you're gonna be like, wait, hold on, wait, what's going on? Like, I need to.
Oh my goodness, it's gonna get burned. You're gonna have to hit the rewind.
Yeah, you're gonna hit the rewind. You're gonna order takeout that day because no cooking. You're gonna be sitting. All your attention needs to be on this show.
Yeah, the only thing cooking is your mind.
Yes. Yeah, yeah, your mind is gonna be cooking. Again, this show, the cast, pretty big cast of characters. We maybe take a look here.
They're all very, very like
different,
intentional.
Yeah, intentional. Like,
yeah, they're very intentional.
Has their own arc, it feels like, in this show.
Yeah,
and they all grow, and they all, again, it's the show has sci-fi elements in it, like time travel, science, and all that, but it's really about the characters becoming who they are supposed to be. And if you watch the show, so there's one season. I mean, there's a first season, there's a movie, and then there's a second season.
Oh boy.
The thing is, so I don't want to say anything, but I no spoilers, because this is a show that I feel like I'm like, I have to get someone else to watch this because I need them to feel what I felt when I only watched the first season, and cool, things are cool and good, but then it's not, because it continues still with the movie and it's actually connecting movie. And then there's a second season, and I'm like, wait, why is the second season called this? Oh no, what am I about to go through? And then you go through it and you're like, this show, with like the first season and the movie are great, like really great.
And then the second season ties it
to this, it almost becomes a masterpiece to me. That's how I feel.
It's a fantastic bow and box that it just encapsulates everything that you know from season 1 and the movie, and just like puts a nice ribbon on it and says, here you go, enjoy this wonderful ride.
And it does it slowly and peacefully. It's like, hey, take your time. We'll be here all day. We'll just here we go.
Adding the finishing touches, yeah.
And yeah, so this show, if you really want like something super suspenseful, and then continue it with more, and then like have this huge mystery, and then it's like like a show that makes you like go back and be like, oh my god, these pieces.
Yes.
Oh my, I didn't even we and again, so this first show came out in 2011, right? The first show came out 2011. The sequel is let's see what this sequel is.
I think it's all one. Yeah.
Yeah, it's all one. So then sequel Deja Vu is the movie, which is great. And then the actual is there? Let me see.
I think that was the second season, wasn't it?
So the second season right here. Imagine
0.
not knowing it's called Steins Gate 0. Imagine not knowing that you even needed a sequel to this show. That's how crazy the show is, because it felt like it was already like, again, like he said, there's a box being put together and the lid's on it. And you're like, oh, cool, this is a night. He's like, sorry, give us 7 years. You don't know, but you're missing the ribbon. And you're like, what do you mean? What? Wait, we're missing a ribbon? But the show's what do you mean?
This show's already good on its own.
Yeah. And then they said, no. We can make it even better. So this show,
yes,
I can't begin to explain, but because if I do, I'll get lost. But
we'll be here all day. Yes, and we will get lost. Absolutely.
Yes, we will get lost. To me, the season 1 and 2 are both like 9s in my opinion, because you don't need both of them. Like, you could watch the first one, be okay, but if you watch the second one, you'll be even just more okay. So yeah. So Steins Gate is on that list too. Don't want to take too much time. Yeah, you agree with it.
Yeah.
It's great. So yeah, that's my mystery one.
All right. So we're going to continue to chug along as we get a little winded. I don't know if we'll make it to 4, but we will definitely touch on 3.
Oh,
yeah.
Real quick. I don't want to take too much time. Yeah. Real quick. My
no. Go ahead. I
had an honorable mention because we were going to do mystery. Yes. I don't want to talk about it too much, but mine was called Erased, or Boku Dake ga Inai Machi. This show. Also, Fantastic. If you have some time after watching the ones we actually say, great, get into it. Anyways, that's my honorable mention. So
yeah. So if we're doing only 3. I have to choose between romance and I have to choose between sports. Now, I will go with romance simply because romance is what got me into anime in the first place.
Yes.
There's a lot of good sports animes out there. Whether you watch sports or you hate sports or you don't really get the meaning of sports, give some of these animes a watch because they're great. It's the story, it's the development of character, it's the development of the team, the underdog story, all those things that you like watching. You know, think of Remember the Titans with Denzel Washington, like all those types of movies that that you like watching that are sports. Watch some of these and you will love them. That's all I can say. But for me, I have to go with the romance, and it's going to be Horimiya. It's going to be Horimiya. So Horori Miya. Oh, where do I even start with this anime? I have seen so many different romance animes, and Greedy has maybe a few on his list and some that he's definitely have seen, where they build you up, they get your heart in your hand, and then they smash it, and then they watch the pieces hit the ground. Then they say, wait a minute, is that your heart? They will grab all the pieces of the heart, put it together, just to smash it again, right? Like, that is a typical romance anime. I hate to say it, but it is. There are some gems. This is one of them. This is one of the gems. Horimiya, to me, is what all romance anime should be like. 2 very awesome, cool, unique leads, both on the girl character and the guy character. But not only that, you have side characters that know their place. And don't you dare interfere with my love between the 2 mains, because some stuff is going to happen, which in all other romance animes, that's all that ever happens. The girl likes the guy or vice versa, but only one way. It's not reciprocated. In comes the side character. The side character then dates the girl or the guy that was not the main characters. And it's just like, why can't they get together? And now they're dating somebody completely different. It just sends you on an emotional roller coaster. This is a roller coaster. Yes, love triangle. That's what he's doing. He's not making any Illuminati signs. He means a love triangle. Like that's what he means, right? This
Yep.
anime, Horimiya, to me, just does it right. It focuses on the romance and the love between the two main leads, expounding on it, development of character, development of the relationship, and it does it in fun, comedy, witty type ways that like ultimately have you at the end of only 13 episodes just thinking to yourself, ah, that was really nice. I really enjoyed that anime. I saw two great characters fall in love. Their love strengthened. They developed on each other. They got past, some previous hardships in their relationship, but overall, like just a sigh of relief. And to me, that is Horimiya, the anime that most romance animes should definitely model after, because don't you go breaking my heart just to build it up and break it again. It hurts, and those roller coasters are fun on their own right. But this one is a roller coaster where you literally have your hands up the whole time and you just think to yourself, this is the best day ever as you hold your hands up like that, going down the romance roller coaster. That's what it does for me, and that's Horimiya. That's my third pick, and that's romance. So
He's pretty much said everything that I thought.
yeah,
There's a couple things I want to say. That's true. I believe it. So the old school, what you said, like the way romance animes used to be, where I forgot where it's from, but it's like a meme of like, imagine someone punches you, you fall to the ground, and then you see someone go to give you a hand to pick you back up, and you realize it's the guy who punched you. He picked you up just so he could punch you again. Like that's pretty much how old school romance anime used to be. Like we were like trying to eat whatever we could with the romance anime genre up, for I don't know how many years, up until 2021, when like we were like, oh, like the idea of settling never crossed my mind until I watched this show, and I was like, oh, we were settling because they did it.
Yeah,
this show did it like almost near perfect. And now like can't go back and watch other romance animes without being like, dang, like we were really just, there was nothing here. We were picking at bones. Like there was nothing here really. This show literally just blew all expectations, and now we have to like, they have to be at least near this or higher, because I can't see anymore.
It's at the bar. It set the bar. It did. It really did. For me, at least.
No, I agree with you. It really did set the bar for quality romance. Not like, I feel like
not to say that the other stuff is bad.
Yes, exactly. It's not bad. It's just, it's not the level I'm not gonna say it's bad. It's just the not quality of romance that this show is. So
I agree.
That's all I will say on that, because I agree with you.
Yeah, you should. And this one is only 12 episodes or 13, I think, or 12.
13 episodes.
So, 13, sorry.
Yeah.
So this is even probably the shortest that we have ever given you on our list right now. So if you're down for just 13 episodes and each episode being about 20 minutes, so you can do the math, take that ride. You will not regret it. Trust me. This is not 100 episodes of romance that just break you and stomp you and punch you and gut punch you. No, this is the good stuff. You made it here. You've arrived at romance. Good romance. So that's my number 3.
I will say too, I didn't know this because I have a lot of these moments in my life. I watched this 4-part episode of this show that they made back in 2012. It was a 4-parter, and I didn't know, because people were like, dude, they should really make this like into a whole series, because the anime's great, or the manga's great, the story's great. And I was like, oh, maybe we will, because it ended in a really weird place where I'm like, well, oh, it's the typical will they won't they. So I hated this so much. And then they put out the actual show, and I'm like, I love this so much. I'm so glad I got to see the development of what they did back in the day, like the little teaser, and it came out to be whatever it is now. So yes, greatness, near perfect for romance genre.
Yeah.
So like you said earlier, sport animes are really good. They have a place. I guess it takes a lot for me to want to get into them. They're not bad. Whenever I watch them, I'm like, oh no, these are great. These are actually really great. It takes a lot for me to get into it though, like to actually start it up, which is why I'm not choosing one. And um romance animes, it feels like it would just be hypocrisy if I were to talk about it after we talked about this one, even though I have one. Because I want
Oh
to do
no.
three. I
Yeah.
want to do three, but we're gonna do three, and I don't want to go any further, so I can't put romance on there because it's like, oh, what are we gonna do? Talk about, not
Yeah.
saying it's
Should have
bad, but
told me
like
I would have
just
done my
no,
sports anime.
no, you're good, bro. We're good.
No.
I want to move on to
All
what I
right.
call comedy adventure.
Here we go.
And for my comedy adventure pick, we have serious story development, one of the greatest action adventure. We have another action adventure with fun, and story development, mystery with friends,
Mystery. Yeah.
peak romance. We have the quintessential romance anime. So
Yes.
I thought, why not go with some comedy adventure with a show that people might know now called Spy Family. And for those of you who don't know, there are animes that have X's and then the X is silent. So it's Spy Family. You could say Spy X Family, doesn't matter to me, but that's what people on the internet like to get mad at people for. So I don't even know where to begin with this show. It's just a show about a guy who's a spy having to make a family, a made-up family, so he could infiltrate a school. And a lot of hijinks happens. There's a lot of different twists and turns. Characters are like, every character you see, there's another side to them that someone else that is around them does not know. And it's extreme. It's not like, oh, this person, they smile in person, but like in real life, they're actually depressed and sad. It's like, no, this guy is really nice, but he's actually a intelligent spy.
Mm-hmm.
This lady is really nice and she wants to look for someone so she doesn't get, I think this takes place in like a early, like post World War I era type, like society,
I would say.
And like,
there's like some Tommy guns in there.
Yeah, Tommy guns and stuff. It's like that era, like the Industrial Revolution. I don't know, but there's like, a character who's like, hey, so I don't get, arrested by the secret police because they're looking for people who might be spies. I need to, go out with this person. We'll make a fake family. It's all work. And, oh, look, it's all love and smiles. Turns out they're a crazy, really great assassin. And then there's this little kid character here who they're like, oh, we need a family because we need her to infiltrate and be the character to get us into the school. Like this really prestigious school that, the person who we can only meet the person I need to like get information from through that school. So, adopt a daughter. And the daughter's like, oh yeah, I could be your daughter because she's actually a mind reader. She can read people's minds. But she's so young that she doesn't understand what they're thinking on that same level. So she'll misinterpret what they're thinking it means something serious. And then she'll do some crazy hijinks because she doesn't know he's like talking about something else. Or she will be like, he says, oh, she doesn't seem that smart. The answer is 42. And then she'll write it down. And then he'd be like, oh, she is smart. I guess I will adopt her. And there's just so much, I would say, adorable, funny, action, quality animation in this story that is still going. I think it's 2 parts right now. And I've just been laughing and enjoying it the whole way. Like every episode is funny or cool.
Yeah.
And it's just an adventure of them trying to, none of them know each one's secret, but they're all living together like a family. So they all
like
have
a family.
they all have crazy things that they're doing and no one knows, but they come together and then they know it's fake, but like, is it fake in their heart? We don't know yet, that type of thing. Mm-hmm. So if you want some just like cool, super sweet, super funny adventure, this show is the show for you. I feel like you've seen it.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, I have seen it. And I agree with you. And I think what makes it so unique in a type way, because you have the guy lead and the girl lead, and then obviously the little child that they adopt. And like Greedy said, they don't know anything about each other's true profession, except the daughter, who's a mind reader, but doesn't tell them, what they are or who they actually are, right? So they're all in a way and quite literally playing house. They're trying to seem like a normal family. They're trying,
Yes.
the guy who's a spy is trying to seem like a good dad. And the mom, who is an assassin, is trying to seem like a good mom. And they're all coming together just to do this one single mission. And throughout the telling of that story, you're seeing all the little things that come together because you have the best spy, the best assassin, and an adopted girl
A
who are
wild
now
card.
trying to figure out right. So they've never been put in this situation, and you can say they did it for the mission at first,
Yes.
but now as they're a family, they're starting to realize and understand, like, wait a minute, I actually care about this girl.
Yes.
Wait a minute, this was just a mission at first, but I actually care about this woman who is supposed to be my wife. And I actually care about this guy who's supposed to be my husband. So you're watching the maturity of people who came together for different reasons that are now becoming a family. And
Exactly.
it's wholesome, it's funny, it's cute. There's some action here and there, obviously, but yeah, I agree with you. Really good anime.
I feel like a lot of mine have a through line trend of character development, but like even in the show, like you said, they develop their actual feelings inside instead of just kind of, they are playing house and it starts off that way, but are they really just only playing house? And what happens after everything is done is really like the whole mindset of this. So they're each trying to do what they think is best for what they feel, but what if those feelings are changing? So and
like doing what's best for the mission, but what if the mission is being a good dad?
Exactly. And that's pretty much his mission.
You know what I mean?
He has to be a good dad.
Yeah.
She has to be a good wife. And she has to be, the daughter has to be a good student. And she's not. But somehow she's finding a way to become part of this crazy school, which I think it's like an elementary school. And
it's an elementary school, yeah.
She's literally, I think, 2 or 3 years younger than the people the age that she's in. So she's not that smart. Yeah. She was already, in an orphanage, so she doesn't have like a good. So she's trying her best to like fit in. It's funny. It's really funny. She's trying her best to fit in, and the people she's supposed to get along with, she might throw hands with. Who knows? So I would say, if you like some just cool, funny, good stuff, you check this out. The animation quality is high tier. The story is great. Pretty fast paced. Like not a lot of filler stuff, but there's some. It's still all good. It's still all good looking.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
I went with I call it comedy adventure. So
yeah, it's a classic one.
Genres action, award-winning comedy. Wow, award-winning comedy.
Who gives out that award?
Yeah, what is that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
well, how about that? I've never seen that genre. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So.
Interesting.
I mean,
I'll have to check that out later. What is award-winning comedy? Because I want a piece of that pie.
So these 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, these are the 6 animes that we decided to choose for people like you out there who might not, know anime too well or want to get into it. These are our 3 suggestions for you to get started into whatever specific area you think you'd want to get into first. No specific order, I feel like, like if you want to watch like action stuff, you could watch Samurai Champloo or Brotherhood in any order. If you want to watch mystery, it doesn't matter, Steins Gate, like choose one of the, like these are the ones, like choose these and then see what you like from there. These are just different, but if I think this is a pretty good list. I don't know, what do you think?
Yeah. No, absolutely. I like this list because we're not picking the creme de la creme, if you will.
Exactly.
Some of them are kind of like, okay, yeah, but there's some other stuff that's better. Some people might think of Demon Slayer. Some people might think of Attack on Titan or, all these other different types of animes. Or why didn't they talk about One Piece? Why didn't they talk about Naruto and Dragon Ball Z? Guys, I'm watching One Piece. I started in November and I caught up in February. I went on a serious binge from episode 0 all the way to current, which is over 1,000 episodes. It is hard for me to recommend One Piece to a newcomer because that's 1,000 episodes.
That's why I didn't do it.
1,000.
That's exactly why.
Dragon Ball has hundreds of episodes. Naruto has hundreds of episodes. They're all great animes, don't get us wrong. And if you ever get past some of these, maybe you're like, you know what? I heard everybody talk about Naruto. I want to know what the hype is about. I heard everybody's got Goku. When they talk about anime and fights and all this stuff and power ups and Super Saiyan, I always hear Dragon Balls and this and that.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see what it's about. Yeah, take that plunge and enjoy the ride when you do. But as far as newcomers, as far as just a list that has some shorter ends of anime and maybe not a lot of time is required, this is a great list. Exactly. And it covers a lot of genres.
I was going off of it as gateway anime. These are the animes that you get people into so they're comfortable. And then once they're in, you'd be like, hey, now that you're here, Lock's Door, I got this show I want you to watch. It's called Dragon Ball Z. It's only a couple hundred episodes. Like, we'll get through it. Don't worry. We'll binge it. You'll love it. Don't worry. Once we get
before to the you know it, you're caught up.
It's only 100 episodes or 70 episodes till the Cell arc. I swear. Once we get there, it's gonna be it's always fire. But when we get there, that's like peak fire. Like, that's what we want. Yeah. We wanna lull people into a false sense of security in the anime world, so that we can wrap them in the ongoing 2,000 episodes of One Piece.
Right.
For 200 episodes of Naruto, and like, we're not done. Like, no, he's an adult now. You got to find out what he's doing as an adult.
And take a look at what's happening as he's an adult. Yeah, exactly. And it just one of those things where it's like, I love One Piece. Like I said, I mentioned I started in November. I love One Piece, and it's easily top 5 animes, if not easily top 3 animes. Like, I just can't.
Yeah,
I can't, like, unless you're like a seasoned person. And like me, like when I watch an anime, I like to stick to it till it's done. And One Piece was a disaster for me because of that tendency. It was like, leave me alone. I'm watching One Piece. What episode are you on right now? Episode 200. Leave me alone. I'm watching One Piece. A month later. What episode are you on? I'm episode 500 something.
Yeah.
A month later. 800 something. A month later, I'm about to catch up. Like, I had it as my Discord status, guys. Like, how I was trekking along the One Piece.
I would see it like, this man is going. He's like,
he's blazing
459 out of whatever. I'm like, he's going, bro. He's going. He's doing it. He's going.
And there's a reason why it's still airing and still being written to this day, because it is that good. If you don't know anything about One Piece, that sucker was written in the 90s. I don't want to say the late 80s, but it's definitely written in the 90s. So think about it, guys. 30 years of content, and they're still putting out an episode almost every single week. Like, that is longevity. Tell me something that's been airing for 30 years, and and I will show you One Piece, right? Like, it's ridiculous. But like Greedy mentioned, this is a good list for, like you said, like those at the gate, you picked it up on your little starter pack and you're just like, what should I watch? It's like, here's your little starter pack, your discovery pack of what anime is. Definitely give some of these a watch, if not all of them a watch. Like, I guarantee you will enjoy them. Maybe romance is not your thing, and maybe sports is not your thing, but maybe you like action, maybe you like some good storytelling and development of characters and all that stuff, and there's anime for you.
Exactly. There's
anime for you.
These are the animes that we're coming from a place, I feel like we want people to like anime before they get annoyed by it. Not saying that you will get annoyed by it, but we want to, again, the fastest route to get someone who doesn't know anime into it is to show them the really great, start off really great, and then work their way into, they can find their own junk that they want to get into after that.
They'll find their own way. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. So the starter pack, this is the starter pack for noobs, anime starter pack for noobs. That's what we are. That's what this is.
There you go.
Please, if you ever do take a look at these and have any thoughts or questions, or like, any feedback on just whatever, you have anything you want to say, you could message us. I'm gonna probably be making a Discord, and we will have an email. You can email us too, so we'll do that. I'll have all that in the description. But yeah, this was the first episode of Name Still Pending podcast. No, I'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. But this was good. This was a good session, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. If you were here from beginning to end, we greatly appreciate it.
Yeah, we
We
went
will
on for
get
a while.
better. We will manage our time a lot better.
Yes.
Um, it was something that I mentioned at the very beginning, but I truthfully mean it, and you can honestly tell why, as you know, we're over an hour easily. This something like this is something that Greedy and I are like very passionate about because it's
Exactly.
shaped who we are. We've
Mm-hmm.
been watching it for over 10 plus years. It's made us into making new friends, new hobbies,
Yes.
new topics to discuss, new series to watch, new,
Mm-hmm.
hey, have you seen this? It opened up a huge gateway in our lives. And that's why we're so passionate about it.
Exactly.
There'll be other things that we talk about. And yeah, we're going to be just as passionate about that as well. Gaming, movies, Marvel, Star Wars, this,
Mm-hmm.
that, music, you name it. We're going to talk about it. But if you've been here from beginning to end, and if you like the list that we've given you, like we greatly appreciate it. And hopefully you continue to enjoy our content as we move
Yeah.
forward.
Couldn't say any better than that. Just hope you enjoy. Hope you continue to enjoy. That's all I got. You guys have a good rest of your day, what night, whatever time it is. Enjoy. Laters.
Have a good one. Laters.